everyone. This is just a video on what I have noticed is a common trait among people around my age. I, for one, am a person that likes to have conversation, who likes to have debates. And a common trait among people now is that it's their way or the highway. And there's no if buts about it. You can't disagree, because if you disagree, it's a big debacle. You can't have disagreements, arguments, debates, because everything is so personal. And I, for one, am not a person who personally likes that, because I grew up in a very sarcastic, snippy household. So conversations are mostly full of that. And people don't understand sarcasm anymore. They just see it as insults, which isn't true. And everything is personal. You can't say, oh, I don't like this, or I really don't think that's a good idea, because suddenly it's an attack. And you have to monitor and not be who you are, because if it offends someone else, guess what? You're the problem, not them. And that's how everything works. Everyone thinks that it's okay to make a big stink about every little thing. And I understand that there are people who feel differently and see the world differently, but this is one thing that makes it hard to socialize. It makes it hard to make friends, especially when you're dealing with all this other stuff in your life, whether it be medical, job, family, whatever. You don't want to waste your time dealing with someone else's problems or dealing with their drama that they're making unnecessarily. Like, I don't care if you identify as if and or whatever. I don't care what your sexual preference is. I don't care. So when you're going around screaming it at the top of your lungs, you want to know the first thought that comes to my head? I'm not going to go near them. They are going to make my life 10 times harder. And I don't want to deal with that. It's just so tiring. And when people put you in a box that you do not belong in, just because they think of you in a certain way, aren't they doing the exact same thing they say we're doing to them? And when people are like that, it just makes the world difficult. If everyone were to just take a step back and look at it and went, wow, this is complicated unnecessarily, let's not make it that way, it would solve a lot of problems if we were to just take all that complicated stuff that is so unnecessary, whatever it be, it would make a lot of people's lives easier. And your own. I just don't understand why people have to have the spotlight on them all the time. And the moment you take it off, oh my gosh, how dare you try to change the subject from me? How dare you? You're not as important as I. You are not as important as what I think. Whatever you have to say is not important because it's all about me. You want to know something I've heard all my life? The world doesn't revolve around you. And that's true. The universe doesn't revolve around you. The only thing that revolves around you is yourself. And when it's like that, you're missing out on so much stuff because of that action. You are making it harder for people around you and yourself when you are self-absorbed or narcissistic. And there are ways that you can fight back against that with, self-reflection and all that stuff. But the easiest way to decide what is good and what is not is how to view your own life. If you want to be that person that people are just like, yeah, go on, where they have to physically and mentally prepare themselves for this long, drawn-out, dramatic conversation, and that's what you want, go for it. For people on the side of, I don't like the drama and all that's around me in the world is drama, I totally agree with that. Every time I've had a conversation with someone in the past 2 years, it's all about them, all about what they want, all about how the world is against them, and all about them. And what's wrong with the world? Why isn't the world all around me? Why can't the world accept me? Because it doesn't care. A majority of the time, people who listen to these conversations don't care, and they're just like, hurry it up, I need to go now. I don't have time to listen to you. I have a life outside of you. You are not the center of my world. I have my own life. I have my own job. I have my own pets. I have my own family. I have my own life to deal with. Why should I have to take charge of yours? And when I do try to help you, you make it that I'm the problem. Because the advice I gave you to help in the situation isn't what you wanted to hear, because it's not good for your image. Or it's not what you wanted to hear, so instantly it's the wrong thing. Maybe you should take a look and be like, hey, wait, that thing I thought was wrong in this situation because it doesn't make me happy is actually the right thing, because it makes the problem go away. But when the problem is purely that ball of self-absorbed, narcissistic, it's annoying to deal with people. And you want to know what the internet calls those people? Karens or Chads. But breaking news, a lot of young people are those personalities who they have to have the light and the, oh, look at me, my life is so hard, or, oh, look at me, I'm the best. Great. You are lying to yourself and the whole world, because you're only going to be posting stuff that's good for your image, to make you less human. Everyone has bad days. Everyone has good days. Whether you be normal or not normal. Whether you have religion or not. Everyone is the same. If you look at a human skeleton, we're all the same. And people are so driven to put themselves in a special category so they feel special. Didn't we try for years to get rid of that whole stereotype of putting labels on people or putting people into special categories because they dress different, they act different, they look different? Now you're trying to do the reversal, where if they act different, look different, they're this or that, they're that or this, so they go in this box or that label. It's like, Didn't we try for years to get rid of that kind of thing? And now you're trying to get it back. And then a few years down the line, they're going to try to get rid of it again. Because they're going to notice that that's a problem. And it's just so aggravating to see this replay itself. It's one of those perpetual things that it's like people say, if you don't know history, it's bound to repeat. I lived through that whole string of when they were trying to get rid of labels. And I'm living through it in the reverse, where they're trying to have labels and special categories and special advantages for everything. And it's not okay. It's just not. Because, again, in a few years, they're going to be like, this wasn't a good thing. We need to get rid of it. And then it's just going to keep repeating unless some people start pointing this out to others. But no one wants to have that discussion. No one wants to have the argument that labels define people. We got rid of the labels, but they're still used, and you're making new ones. You're trying to change everything. For what? So you feel special? Whoopee. Now you made everyone's lives harder because you want to make a scene. You want to make drama. You want to make yourself feel special. You want to get that 15 seconds of fame. And was it really worth it to put all that on the internet? Doing that stupid stuff in stores? No. It's not. It's not worth it. But it's the live in the moment mentality. I've always struggled with the living in the future mentality, where I freak out about the future, and due to a lot of things, I've learned to come to grips with that. And I don't see a bright future. I see a future that's like this, full of drama, full of headaches, and people being self-absorbed. And I don't want that. I really don't. Because in that world, someone like me can't fit in. So I don't fit in. I have no friends. And it's due to this kind of mentality. I can't stand it. So I don't talk to other people, really. Do I talk to people? Yes. Do I realize the majority of them are very similar? Yes. And ironically, trying to make yourself seem special when everyone has their own unique ability and special case, you're making yourself less special. You're dulling it. You're making yourself a cookie cutter. And it's like you're literally destroying the thing that makes you special, so people have to recognize that you're special. So that's my take on the whole self-absorbed narcissism of people. You'll always have those people in your life, and there's no doubt in my mind that this is not going to help that. But that's how it is. And for those people who aren't like that, stay you. Don't try to fit in. Because the moment you start trying to fit in and change yourself to do that, then you're not you anymore. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't try to fit in with the labels. And don't believe what people tell you are or aren't. Because it's all up to you. No one's going to really do anything to help you in life. And if they do, that's awesome, but don't count on others to give you confidence support, or anything like that. Because people are bound to fail you one way or another. And that's how it is. You need to be self-assured and self-reliant. I guess that's all I have to say. Bye.